Sorry about that. I know it doesn't carry on from where you left off, but I'm working on an iPhone, so I hit the wrong button there. But anyway, yeah, I thought my next move would be when the kids leave the nest, but obviously not. So it's just a matter now of waiting and seeing where we end up. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it'll be all right. So anyway, here we go. So crikey, I'm going to do this. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm putting the line here. So just a scrub a line in there, right, and then try and dot the rivets. And then again, let's get a clean bit of rag. I'm choosing a bloody ripped old thing. And then we'll get a piece of rag, a piece of tissue. And then I think it's not coming out very well this time. Try again. So let's do the dotting. And then it doesn't help that there's a light there, but there we go. So it shows up the dots reasonably well. There's the cotton bud, here he is. It's not depicting it very well, is it? It's kind of like a I normally do this kind of thing in my hand, you see, where I hold the model in my hand and then run it all off that way, but yeah, what was that? So I'll turn the light away from it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can see it now. Look at that. There. So I'm not only getting the silvering effect on the model myself, but anyway, I'm just wondering if I can poke that other light on. A big strip like that. Ah, that evens it out. Yeah, right-o. We're getting somewhere now. And then, like, when you've got these like little holes here, you can actually just try and dab that stuff right in, because all you want is just the holes to show. And just rub it off. So you get it like looking like that. And then just give it once over. And then you've got your little holes showing, little pepper pot holes. And then we use a bit of brown mixed with black to kind of darken things up and lighten it as we go along. And dry the brush off a bit. And then you can just like, you know, put, this is where like the crew would open the latches. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So you get my drift. There's 2 there, and then also and then because there'll be a bit of black there. The landing gear door comes down. And then we could do a bit on them rivets there.
75 million songs you love, free for up to 6 months on O2.
Dolby Atmos is an immersive audio experience. I hear the sound all around. Really good. I'm hearing like on the left side, right, behind.
Now just say you wanted to do something a bit out of the ordinary.
It just sounds like this.
So saying we had a panel, say for instance, we'll use this one. I know it's a bit out of shot at the moment. I'll just put this on. So say you wanted this panel, right? So you just wanted this one, but you just wanted to have the dirty edge. So what you'd do is you'd actually get most of it on the tape, like that, right? And then you can just do this. Right? So you get that like that. Take the tape off. You've got a clean edge. Right? And then there. And you create that effect. I work with oils because I just prefer oils. You don't have to. You could probably do this with, you know, lots of other types of materials for doing this sort of thing with. But like I say, I just work with oils to kind of create this kind of effect on the underside. When they're flying and you see the underside, it's different from when you're on the ground. I remember with the Phantoms, they were filthy. There was always leakage, you know, around the back of the wheelbase where you had the speed brake, and especially up around the back end of the engine area, there was always a lot of dirty grime around there as well. I mean, they were, you know, it was a, you know, workers' aircraft, but it was, you know, when I used to go into the sheds, you know, got talking to, you know, the guys in there, and it was just like, you know, I mean, I helped fit a fuel pump to one of them, so yeah, and that was actually quite clean, but I think the guy cleaned it up so I could get my hands on it. But they were dirty, and the Jags, I never really saw much in the way of them in the sheds, but you know, they were pretty clean aircraft. But Tornadoes, everything looks different on the ground. So when you see this on the ground, you're up close and you see all the filthy marks. But when aeroplanes go up in the sky, because the light's so bright, you don't see it. So you hardly see any of the... You will see the most heavily stained areas, but it's not quite the same. It's different light up there compared to down here. So if you ever wanted to do an underside and filth it up, yeah, look at the underside shots, mainly when they're doing the low level flying. So if you get the LFA 7 flying area of Mac Loop, and they bend over and they show you the underside, if you can get a really good crisp photo, then yeah, look at that, take that as a good example. But when they're up high and they bank away from each other, don't always take that, because that's a different kind of light. If you can get near one on the ground, just go underneath, put your camera in auto mode and just click looking underneath it. You know, try and, if you can, put the camera on the floor and point it upwards, get your head out of the way or something, and leave it for 10 seconds and do it that way. That's how I used to do it. when I used to photograph aircraft many years ago. But you know, it's trying to get all the modern stuff, and how it happens, it's literally just by word of mouth and maybe someone who can provide a good picture. Well, the picture I had of this was one that was flying in, like I say, the Mac Blueberry, so it gave me some idea that the guy pushed over to us. But the actual picture itself was, when you tried to expand it up, it was very blurred, very pixelated. So, you know, you kind of had to use your head a bit as well. You know, where's he talking about? He took my picture and put an arrow in and said, look, this is where I'm talking about. So with the two panels here, the hydraulic panels there and there. So yeah, so anyway, so that's literally how I do some of my weathering. I've literally done the back now, but it's basically the same process. So when you want to do all of that there, it just literally is, you put it on, you wipe it off, put it on, wipe it off. The background colour, all the yellowing, that's done just by rubbing different oils into the paintwork. So you've already sprayed it, you've already done your mottly, blotchy, you know, paintwork, and then you put the hydraulics always, they're kind of a pinky colour, and so the yellowing is literally the oils in the engine compartments. The whole back end just gets really filth, and then you've just got grub and grime around here from what sprays up from the wheels when it comes down and goes everywhere. When the first buckets go over here, there is a lot of jet blast that comes underneath the tails that way and that way. So again, I'll do one, and then I'll do my best to try and show you how to do the next one. But I do it with an airbrush, and also use Tamiya weathering powders to do this, to get that kind of effect. So that basically starts off with with the airbrush here, and I'll just lightly with a kind of a matte black, and then that gives it its shading. And then what I do then is I then darken it up using the weathering powders. I haven't put these little veins in yet, because you've got to super glue those in, and 9 times out of 10 when you start doing this kind of thing, they end up pinging out and going all over the place, and the carpet monster gets, especially in this room. So yeah, and that's what you do for that. And then the top of the aircraft as well, again with all the dirty in here, that's done with oils. So you just massage it into the paintwork. Same with the staining of the metal petals there, and then just general overhaul, thinned down oil paint, and then just dot, and then it just fills in all the panel lines. Yeah. So trouble is, I get carried away, see, and then I end up doing it and forgetting about my bloody YouTube channel. And yeah, but anyway, so that's that. I am going to get another one of these kits, and obviously I'd like to do a build, but obviously it might be a case of, you know, as and when I move house to get my new place, to get more room. It's just showing everybody knows how to build a model, yeah, which is why sometimes I think myself, you know, why do you need a build? But on the other hand, some people who just might, you know, want to pick the thing up for the first time and say, how'd you build this thing? Where would you start? I'm not a good example. Because of my autism, I build things different. So the way Spencer Pollard would have built this is how you would have done it, maybe from the instructions. But how I do it is I don't look at the instructions. I just build the thing straight out of the box, and, you know, only look at the instructions when I come across a part that's either where's this, or what's this, or where does that go, and that's it, which is very few parts, because pretty much most of it's straightforward. So doing a build video for me might be a bit confusing for people, but, you know, and not only that, they take a bit of time as well, and it's whether I get the time, as like now, the shouting in the background with all the kids, you know, it's pretty minimal. It's actually quite quiet, but it wasn't earlier. I think in one of my other videos you can hear my wife screaming That's because one of my son's friends was peering through the kitchen window and all she could see was his head. But yeah, a bit of a madhouse around here. So anyway, but well, anyway, we'll finish this one first. Won't talk about anything else. Just finish this one first. Get this one done and see what it looks like at the end. But as and from now, that's it. So take care, guys, and see you soon. Bye.